Hello, and welcome to our new series of writing backend server in Rust. Rust is a multi-paradigm, high-level, general-purpose programming language. Rust emphasizes performance, type safety, and concurrency. For this series, we will use one of the most popular Rust frameworks, called Axum. Axum is a web framework written in Rust. It provides an API for building web applications and helps remove much of the underlying detail of the libraries it's built upon. The project is primarily the work of David Pedersen, a software engineer at the Stockholm-based video game studio Embark Studios. Axum belongs to the Tokio organization on GitHub, which also hosts an asynchronous runtime for Rust by the same name that has seen 57M downloads, and is the 58th most downloaded crate of all time. In particular, what sets Axum apart from other frameworks is that Axum doesn't have its own middleware system but instead uses Tower service. This means Axum gets timeouts, tracing, compression, authorization, and more, for free. It also enables you to share middleware with applications written using Hyper or Tonic. Tower provides an abstraction layer and generic implementations of various middleware. This means that the Tower crate on its own does not provide a working implementation of a network client or server. Instead, Tower's service trait provides an integration point between application code, libraries providing middleware implementations, and libraries that implement servers and/or clients for various network protocols. Let's get started with our project now. Let's open our terminal. We will start by checking Rust version on our machine. Then we will update our stable Rust toolchain using rustup update stable. Let us create a new Rust project using cargo. We will call our project Axum server. Write cargo new Axum server to create our project. Let us cd into our project and open it our text editor. We are using VS Code. You are free to choose your own text editor. We can see, we have an empty project with main containing println macro saying hello world. And cargo toml with no dependencies. Let us change that. We will add two dependencies. These are Axum and Tokio. Let us import necessary modules from our Axum dependency. Then, we will provide our main function asynchronous runtime, Tokio. We will do this by macro, Tokio main. Now, we can mark our main function async. We will start by creating a pubic asynchronous function root. Our root function will return everything that can implement into response trait. Into response is a special trait from Axum. This will help us send different type of responses to our endpoint. For now, we will return a sting slice saying hello from Axum server. Now, in our main function, we will create router to handle all the routes. We will do this by creating a new router using router new. We will now chain this struct router with associated function route. Function route takes two parameters, a string slice containing an endpoint URL and HTTP method, wrapping on our function that returns something that implements into response trait. We can further chain new route functions over it. We will create a socket address to bind with our server. We will run our server on port 8000. So let us create a socket address with port 8000. Now we will create our HTTP server. Our server will bind over the address we have created, that is localhost 8000. We will serve all the routes present inside routes variable. We will await our server. Then unwrap it. Let us build and run our project using cargo run. This might take a while. We can see our Axum compilation process is quicker than our Actix web compilation process. It is because Actix web relies heavily on macros, which takes longer to compile. Let us check our root endpoint using curl. So in another terminal, we will run curl localhost 8000. Our code works perfectly. We should change our root response to say, hello from Axum server, instead of hello from Axum serve. Let us once again build our project using cargo run and check if our root responds correctly. Thank you and visit again. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Happy coding!